Okay, here we go. All right, and it's 12:01, so I think let's get started. It's Tuesday. I like to, I have these themes like it's Mindfulness Mondays. Tuesdays is Attention Training Tuesdays. It's kind of a cute way of, I think, finding when I think of mindfulness, I think of our capacity to just be with whatever is, right? So it's not about focusing on anything. It's more about taking a step back and just noticing that, oh, sensations in my body, emotions, memories, thoughts, whatever it might be. And being mindful means that we can just be with whatever's showing up. Today, we're going to do sort of same but different, but we're gonna flip the agenda a little bit, and we're gonna focus intentionally on objects of our choosing. So the Buddhists would say, we're looking for we're going to focus our attention on areas that we would like them to be, rather than just sitting back and letting things happen to us. So it's a really profound nuance, but it is kind of a nuance. It's sort of same but different, but it makes a big difference when we can cultivate that capacity. And so this is one of my favorite quotes from Blaise Pascal. All of humanity's problems stem from our inability to sit quietly in a room alone and look around your news feed these days and imagine if more of the people that were involved in making big decisions, I don't need to name names or get into any big political, discussions here, but the more these human beings, these vulnerable human beings that are in these positions of power could actually take a step back and just say, oh my gosh, this is what it's like to be a sentient conscious being sitting alone without any money, technology, status, power, whatever it might be. And you quickly drop into a place of really profound humility. And I think the more we can do that, the more we can cultivate that capacity within ourselves, the better our subjective life becomes. So it's not like we're doing it because we want to achieve some external benefit. It's really just a very personal process to say, if I can sit quietly in a room alone and just be with all the thoughts and all the sensations and all the memories and all the mental activity that comes up, if I can be with that, things things change dramatically. Um, And what changes is our capacity to focus on the things that actually give our life meaning. So, yes, we can focus on a million different things, but if it's devoid of a sense of freedom or forgiveness or compassion or love or gratitude, in my experience, it just kind of adds up to nothing. So, our ability today, we're going to focus on this capacity for um, focusing our attention where we want it to be. And the more we can do that, the more we can choose, oh, right now I want to focus on compassion, or I want to focus on gratitude, or a sense of belonging, or commitment. Fill in the blank. Like the list is somewhat endless. And the big question is, what do you want to focus on? And just a quick reminder of what this actually looks like on a neurologic level. So I have this cool video here that shows a time lapse. Um, this is, I'm oversimplifying this, but these are neurons that are in our neocortex that are communicating with one another. And they do so, through these electrochemical processes, uh, using neurotransmitters. We send signals back and forth, and these little cells, 100 billion of which we all have in our neocortex, are all constantly trying to communicate, and they do so based on continuous exposure of experiences. So, everything that we experience subjectively, every depression, every sad thought, every happy thought, every time we feel giddy or playful or calm or equanimous is because of this stuff that's happening right here that we're looking at here in this time lapse. It's these neurons that are communicating with each other and sending signals through these synaptic connections from one to the other. And just keeping in mind that, the miracle of this neurology is that, any single neuron can have as many, literally can have thousands of connections coming to it and from it to another neuron that in turn has a thousand or tens of thousands of connections. So it's a pretty, on the neurologic level, it's a pretty miraculous, overwhelming experience. And subjectively, we can boil it down to the simplicity of, when you're 3 years old, 4 years old, and you're sitting on this, it's not even a bicycle. I don't even know what to call this thing. But when you're first sitting on it and you're holding on to the handlebars and you're pushing with your feet, what makes this process work is that neurology that I just showed you in time lapse is active, is taking place, and the human organism. This is how we learn. This is how we become better at certain skills, and this is how we, uh, you know, become less good at certain other skills. So obviously, in our case, I think our goal from a mental health standpoint is on some level to become less good at depression or less good at anxiety or less good at, obsessive ruminations and get better at equanimity and love and gratitude and so on and so forth. So the goal today is to practice that ability to focus our attention on what it is that we actually want. So that would be my pitch for the practice today. So let's do that. Let's as always start by closing your eyes. We just have a few minutes. It's just 15 minutes of positivity. We have a few minutes to just focus on right here, right now. And begin by just noticing what is actually happening right here, right now. We're sitting, we're on a call together, whatever that means, like on some digital mechanism to transfer information back and forth. That's what we're doing right now. Physically sitting in a chair, and notice your feet and the contact of your feet on the ground. And now let's direct our attention intentionally to where we want it to be. So we are flexing that muscle. We're stimulating all those neurons that allow us to do this, to focus on experiences that we want right now. So I invite you to just focus on your feet and notice as much as you can about the sensation and the experience of your feet in contact with the ground. I can wiggle my toes and notice they wiggle unevenly between left and right foot. But I notice them wiggling. And then stop wiggling and just rest. And bringing your full attention to the experience of having feet resting on the ground right now. And then we can shine the spotlight of attention. It's Attention Training Tuesday. So we can shine our attention on any other part of our body that we want. So I'll suggest let's just focus on our belly, moving from our feet to our belly, noticing the belly expanding, contracting with breath. Notice if there are any other sensations beyond just inhalation and exhalation. Maybe there's what we would call a feeling tone that you're experiencing in your belly. It's excitement, nervousness, calm. The goal is not to try to change the experience, but rather just to be with the experience. And typically, the more we settle into focusing on whatever's going on, you might find your belly relaxing, softening, calming down. And if not, it's okay. Just notice. Just keep your attention there. And then let's move our attention to our hands, palms of your hands, your fingers. In my case, my hands are touching. So you might try that. Just touch the palms of your hands together. Just bring your full attention to the experience of your hands touching, noticing the sensation, the temperature. You can clasp your fingers together and squeeze and relax. Just settle into the experience of having hands that are touching. And notice how, as you're focusing on your hands and the sensations in your hands, you may have completely forgotten about your feet, right? So, this is a great example of attentional control where we focus on one thing, the exclusion of others. As I focus on my hands and the palms of my hands touching and my fingers clasping, I can now relax my attention on my hands and bring my attention back to my feet. Go ahead and wiggle your feet. Notice your feet in contact with the ground. And then bring your attention back up to your chest. Take a deep breath in. Exhale all the way. Noticing sensation of your lungs and your chest. Take another deep breath in. And on this exhale, go ahead and open your eyes. And notice how as soon as you open your eyes, there's a whole nother like field of experience and sensation that enters your consciousness. So we went from our feet to our hands, to our belly, to our eyes. And the more we practice intentional control over where our attention is going, um, the better we become at being able to manage things like depressive experiences or anxious experiences or any kind of dis-ease that we might be experiencing at any time. I could keep going for a long time, but we're already way over time. So thank you all. I hope this was helpful. I hope to see you tomorrow, same time, same place, and we'll do another practice then. Have a good day, everyone. Take care.